BYU is the biggest hosed team out of all of us, out of all the teams. They have the most to gripe about because their conference championship loss didn't mean like it did for Alabama. They are the one team that should be the most pissed off out of everybody.
Nope, I agree with you. I hate Notre Dame. And you know what? I hope Marcus Freeman leaves them and goes to the Giants like he's favored to do. So
that'd be awesome.
I would absolutely love it.
This is All About the Balls podcast with Mark Davis, Kriska Meinhardt, Luke Rule, Jake Winnikine, and Nick the Doc Skirkowitz. Ladies and gentlemen, this is All About the Balls podcast. I'm Mark Davis. That's Kriska Meinhardt. We are fresh off of conference championship weekend for college football, the CFP rankings for college football, and now also week 14 overreactions. Chris, a lot of stuff happened over the weekend. The Saints got a big win against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, which is the reason we'll talk the Bucs a little later on. And then, of course, CFP is out. It's ready to go. How was the weekend, though?
Yeah, weekend was good. Watched some good college football. Well, the first couple games weren't so great. Shocking. Duke, Virginia Tech might have been the best game.
Yeah, it was pretty offensive-wise, yeah. And then Ohio State, Indiana was like a defensive, kind of a couple good plays offensively.
Yeah, surprisingly that we shit on it, but that was probably the best game. Most entertaining, at least, I think.
Yeah, to have a feeling it was going to happen that way, too, with all the shit we were giving it.
Yeah, definitely. Sunday was good. Saints look promising. So I like the way we're heading. I like what Kellen Moore is doing.
Yeah, like you said, the weekend started off a little bad when it came to the games Friday night. I didn't really watch much of the G5. I was on my way to buying a house and pretty much locking that bad boy in. So didn't get to really watch too much of the G5s by the time I got home. I was ready to pass out. But Saturday, like you said, it was pretty boring. The Big 12 championship was boring. The SEC championship was boring. And then the ACC and Big 10 was actually pretty good games. And then Sunday, expected it. Falcons got their ass beat, Chris. Hey, I count it as a win. We were tied 6-6 at half. So I count that as a win in my book. Yeah. But no, it is what it is. We have a lot to talk about, Chris. I think it's college football time, though. Definitely college football time. Well, as you can see, the college football playoff bracket is on the screen here. And, 1 through 4, Chris, I don't think we had a problem with maybe the way that Ohio State was placed at 2. That's probably the only gripe, and I think it's a very small gripe. But, 5 through 9 technically did not change because Alabama still finds themselves at 9. And then Miami shot themselves up over Notre Dame somehow at 10. And then the 2 G5 schools, which some people call the G6 schools, the Tulane, Green Wave, and James Madison University, they are 11 and 12, Chris. So when you first saw this, about 12:30, 12:35 is what time at Eastern time it actually was revealed. What was your initial reaction when it came to it? Yeah, I don't know if we talked about it on here, but a little shocked that Ohio's number 2. I really thought Georgia would jump up to that number 2 slot. But no, like you said, I think they nailed the top 4. Honestly, I think, the top 8 is good, personally. And then that's where the fun begins, is numbers 9 through 12. Yeah, I think the top 8's good. I'd maybe change up the top 4, top 8's. Yeah, it's the reason why I think you change top 4 rounds, because I get it, 1 lost to 2, but 1 only scored 10 points. And if we're going based on the totality of the season, both defenses they played were good. Texas and Indiana, you scored 14 and 10. So it wasn't like it was anything crazy. And then Georgia and Texas Tech blow out number 9, number 11. So it's hard to ignore that. Yeah, no, I get it. I think that, look, you have an Ohio team that you could say their hardest game was Texas week 1. But after that, the strength of schedule 28, Georgia 18, and we'll hit on it when we start talking about Alabama. But if you're going to use those analytics to keep Alabama in, then keep them for the top dogs also. I think that winning, I still think to a degree, and I'm going to talk some fixes that I think the committee should maybe look at if they ever watch this show, is this week, I think the college championships, winning it matters a lot more than losing it, obviously. But I think that when you dominate a top 10 school 28-7, and it was never a close game, pretty much from that block punt on. I get it. Ohio State lost to number 2, but number 3 and I think number 4 slightly gets penalized because I mean they both dominated. They're all 12-1. I get Ohio State was undefeated coming into the game, but they still lost. I mean, you only go down one spot, and Georgia and Texas Tech, they looked good. They've been good all year. So I just don't get all three 12-1 and 2 of them won the championships. I'm okay with Ohio State being number 4. I'm okay with number 2, honestly. It's just I think that them being number 1 all year kept them at number 2.
No, I agree. And I mean, like, we hit on it all the time about, like, SEC, the name, the brand, everything. But I said in Discord, Ohio State gets the same treatment.
Yes, they do. The Big Ten gets the same treatment too. It's not called. I mean, it's not sugarcoated. The Big Ten, though, they only have 3 schools in, with Oregon being the 3rd, but Ohio State gets that same treatment. They are that brand, that logo that it attracts money, draws money. I mean, they were going to be in regardless, but now they play the winner of Miami and Texas A&M rather than the winner of potentially whoever the 4 would play. So Oregon probably. So now I have to play Oregon or I have to jump or potentially Ole Miss, depending on Ole Miss and Ole Miss probably wins that game. So Ole Miss. But
Yeah.
Chris, one thing that caught my eye. Well, a couple things caught my eye is, first off, I believe the committee was wrong before conference championship weekend. I believe the rankings were all over the place. I don't believe BYU should have been 11 coming into this past weekend, and I don't think that personally Alabama should have been higher than Notre Dame and Miami. Now, they unfortunately had all that being backwards, and the reason being is BYU's only loss was against Texas Tech. Granted, it was a blowout, and it was a blowout again, and that's what the committee said. And I get it, Alabama beat Georgia, but they lost to Georgia, also got blown against Florida State. Alabama's looked bad the last month of football. South Carolina was a bad game. LSU was a bad game. They lost to OU, and they survived Auburn, which is the reason why they jumped Notre Dame, because they went 4 on 4th down against a bad team in the 4th quarter. Makes no sense, in my opinion, how you flip them. And it doesn't make sense how – I agree Miami should be over Notre Dame, but how do you flip them? How does head-to-head matter now after they didn't play this past weekend? Like, I don't understand how it matters now, but it didn't matter the past few weeks.
Well, no, I mean, it just kind of shows the fans that, like, look forward to, like, every Monday, right? The AP poll drops, or Tuesday. Is it Monday?
Sunday afternoon for the AP, and then we kind of sit on for 2 days what we think the committee is going to do.
Yeah, it just kind of means that, like, the AP poll doesn't matter, or the committee poll doesn't matter before leading up to this final one, because they completely changed everything. They saw Notre Dame won 10 straight. They lost their first 2. Granted, the first 2 were playoff teams, but they lost them. And then I think they really hit on Miami for the 2 losses to Louisville and SMU. Like you said, they were close, but still losses. So I think they were getting hit on that hard. So I think they put Notre Dame above Miami just for that.
But see, and I have Notre Dame fans in my office. To me, I get it, they lost to unranked teams, but you lost to Miami, who lost to 2 unranked teams, so that makes your loss now even worse because they lost to those 2 teams. I mean, and I believe they both played 4 common opponents. Miami did better against 3 of those 4 common opponents, and they beat them head to head, and the resume was the same. Essentially, it was like 1 or 2 off in certain categories. So it wasn't like the resume was that bad difference. And they beat them head-to-head, and I'm a big component of head-to-head. I really am.
Yeah, no, and I think that's kind of why like you said, they fucked up putting Notre Dame ahead of Miami. But if you look analytic-wise, they were the same, like you mentioned, strength of record, Notre Dame 13, Miami 14, and then strength of schedule 44 and 45. So, I mean, literally right there.
Yeah.
If you want to use the stupid ESPN FPI thing they do, Notre Dame was 3 and Miami was 7.
Still not far different. Still not far.
No, not far at all. But I think once they hit it, and then they were like, fuck, we drilled head-to-head so much last year. Who's the guy that comes out and speaks for the committee?
Oh,
forgot his name.
I don't know the name, but the chairman, you know.
Yeah, he came out and he said, "Oh, we went and we rewatched the Miami Notre Dame game and came up to the conclusion that Miami's a better team than Notre Dame."
They must have
I'm
had it
like,
on the ACC network was on. They were playing reruns.
yeah, I don't know, but no, you hit it. They fucked up before, and it just shows that it doesn't matter what the ranking is before the Sunday after championship weekend.
Yeah, it's hard. I mean, I agree. I mean, I believe it's right now, but I believe if you both don't play in the conference championship, or well, obviously Notre Dame can't play, but they didn't play this weekend. Those two can't flip each other because there's no extra data points to help each other. Now, like I said, they rewrote the wrong. But Chris, I think the biggest loser is BYU. I mean, the reason the committee kicked them out, well, they were never in because of the two conference winners at the 12, 11 and 12 was because they got blown out twice against Texas Tech. But why were they behind all the other teams to start off with when their only loss was to number 4 Texas Tech? I get it, bad loss, but Bama's been having bad wins and not good wins either. And Notre Dame, they survived a couple bad teams themselves, and Miami had 2 unranked losses. So why was BYU sandwiched between all 3 of those schools?
Yeah, I mean, I think everything coming out of the weekend was Notre Dame was the biggest snub, but no, I agree with you. BYU definitely got screwed. Um, couldn't tell you why. I mean, I truthfully think that the ACC kind of fucked the playoffs this year
Yeah, they did.
for being miserable, and then now having 2 G6 teams in here. I think the board was pretty much set, and I think there was because I think Alabama was in, and we can argue that in a little bit, but I think there was 3 teams for 1 spot. I think it was BYU, Miami, Notre Dame
Well, let's
for that
argue it.
last spot.
I don't think Bama should be in, and I get it. It's hard to punish a team that's in a conference championship and loses. I agree. If a team loses close and they're convincingly in the game, they should not move down that much. Now, we've compared it in the Discord. 2024, SMU lost 3 points to Clemson, and they still were in the playoffs, which was fine. But they were also went from 8 to 10, I think 9 to 11, and then Clemson, or I'm sorry, no, 8 to 10, but the 2 schools never got it. I don't know how it was, but SMU still fell down. Every team since 2022 has lost their game, has went down at least a spot. Ohio State went down. Indiana had to go up, but every team has gone down. Alabama stayed at 9, and they weren't in the game. I get it. 14 points, you're down with 7.5 left, but you were down 21 a big chunk of this game. If you get blown out, you have to get punished. If you're going to get rewarded for winning, you got to get punished a little bit. And unfortunately, I get it. You played in the championship, but if you just would have played good, it wouldn't have been a conversation. You lost 28-7, and I agree with what Dan O was saying on ESPN. They were punting the ball when they should have been going for it to save the score. So the committee looks at them and says, "Oh, they didn't lose by that much," because they're afraid to go for it because they didn't want to lose their spot.
Yeah, no, I think they played a terrible game against Georgia. But I mean, we use analytics. Alabama's the only team with top 10 in all 3 categories. So I mean, they're 10-3 with a very tough schedule. They beat the best, what we think is the best team with Georgia. Maybe not the best team overall, but they beat
a top 3 team, top 4 team, whatever.
Should be top 2, but here or there.
Yeah.
Here or
I mean, like in general, out of like all the top teams, they're like one of the top 3 or 4 teams. If you want to throw Tech in there, and obviously the top 3 or the 2 Big Ten schools.
Yeah, I mean they have the best win on the board besides for the Hoosiers.
Yeah, it's just, and I get it, but they also lost by, 14 points to Florida State. They struggled against South Carolina 4-8. LSU fired their coach. Auburn fired their coach 5-7, and they struggled against. They lost to OU at home against OU, I believe. So you want the 12 best teams, and they got blown by Georgia, by the way. They have not been one of the 12 best teams this last month and a couple weeks. It's been a while since Alabama. I guess Eastern Illinois, if you want to count it, that's that team that no one even knows what the mascot is. So they're not good. They have not been good, and they got to pass, in my opinion, because of the name. And I get it. Alabama, a lot of money, and I think they can be good, but they have not been good. And you have to get punished a little bit for losing your championship. If
No, and
BYU
I
was
think
punished, they should be punished.
I was trying to say in the Discord is that I think they would have still been in the playoffs, but I think they would have dropped to a lower seed. But because of the ACC not having a team in here and it being two G6 teams, you're not putting JMU or Tulane over Alabama. You're just not. So Alabama couldn't drop to
But
11 or 12.
But even if the ACC did win with UVA, it's the same situation because you have to have UVA and Tulane jump up. So that still leaves BYU and now Miami and Notre Dame, or sorry, now Notre Dame, BYU out as well. And then so Bama still gets in. You're not going to push Bama that below Miami. So Bama was locked in at 9 no matter how the cookie went, how the cookie crumbled in that situation.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't think the committee looks. I mean, it's hard to say.
I know.
Because now you're contradicting not you yourself is contradicting yourself. I'm contradicting myself because it's almost like they don't look at the very beginning of the season, but then they also hit Notre Dame with losing to Miami and Texas A&M in the beginning of the season.
Oh yeah,
the same thing happened with Notre Dame last year. Like you mentioned, they lost to North Illinois week 2, didn't play in a conference championship, but got to sit at home for a double bye.
Yeah. Well, they also don't look at it too, because, for example, like they'll say Ohio State's at number 2 because man, they beat Texas, who's 9-3, number 13 in the CFP, and they did good all year. Alabama, we're going to excuse that loss though, but we're going to talk about Ohio State's win against Texas, but we're not going to talk against Alabama's loss against Florida State. So we'll talk about the good wins, but we won't talk about the bad losses early on. It's a 12 schedule. It's a 12-game schedule, and we had this conversation a couple years ago with Luke, with Texas, Alabama, and Florida State were the 3 teams we had to decide from. I don't care if Texas played Alabama week 1 or if they played them week 11 that year. You played them, you beat them head to head. It doesn't matter who got hot or who was hotter by a couple points, scored more. The stretch head to head matters, which is Miami's in. But you got to look at the totality of the schedule. You had bad losses, you got bad losses. But Chris, I have a good proposal, and I was kind of listening to what you said. How about going into conference championship? We just lock all 12 teams, right? We lock all 12 teams. Now you can move down still, and you can still move up. Like the conference winners can still, like how Ohio State went to 2 and Indiana went to there, and Alabama can go down. And you know what? We eliminate automatic bids for conference championships, but it's still good to have your conference championship because it still means something. But you don't get punished for losing it as long as the 12 teams are locked. The order will then be pushed out after conference championship. So Alabama could have been one of the 12. If they would have lost, maybe they go to 11, maybe they go to 12, maybe they don't sit at 9, but they're automatically in because it's a lock. It's a lock 12 teams. Before the weekend, you just worry about the arrangement after the games.
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't think conference championships should matter unless you're already set in. Then, like, if you win your conference championship, you could jump into that top 4 to get that bye. So it'd be more of a reason to play well.
And if you lose, if you lose, you're still in, but you might go down a couple spots, and that's still in. You're still in though.
No, I completely agree. I don't think you should be penalized for playing an extra credit game while teams are sitting at home watching from a couch, hate watching, hoping you lose so they can bounce in.
Yeah.
The only thing like with that though is like, do you lock in the top 14 teams to keep your G6 schools?
No. If a G6 school wants to be good or whatever you want to call it, schedule a couple good teams on their schedule and hopefully you win. I mean, I'm sorry, I don't care. I agree with what Nick Saban said. If first off, JMU is not going to Eugene, Oregon, and playing this game close. And by the way, Tulane already got blown out against Ole Miss this year, so it's getting old. Cincinnati had their little fun, and back in the 2021 era, I believe it was the season when they got blown out against a B game by Alabama. By the way, that wasn't even Alabama's best game, and they still won by like 2 or 3 scores. And Boise State had a bye last year, and then Penn State pretty much dominated most of that game.
Yeah.
So, like, I mean, it's fun. It's a cool Cinderella team, but guess what, man? I don't give a shit. I want the 12 best teams. And you know what? I'm not even trying to say it because Texas was one of the 12 best teams. We weren't even in the top 12. So 1 through 12, man. It is. And this whole bullshit about the Fighting Irish next year for the next 6 seasons, automatically, if you're our top 12 team, they're in because that's what it kicked the number 10 team out, which was Miami. And then if it's a 14 team playoff, if it expands, they're the top 13 they're in. I think that's bullshit that they get a automatic scheduling conflict, whatever, in their little contract that because they don't play in a conference game, they get to be an automatic team if they're the top 12 school. That's bullshit.
Yeah, no, I mean there needs to be a lot of change with Notre Dame. The
Put
clause
them in a
that they
fucking conference, man.
the clause they have. I mean, they're talking to the SEC right now. So
Oh, they're in the ACC and every other conference, every sport. Like you're in the ACC.
they're done with the ACC. They're mad.
Oh, fuck them, dude. They are the most spoiled bitches I've ever seen. And now they're not playing in a bowl game because you didn't make it. Boo fucking who, man? Grow up, man. You didn't make it because you didn't win one of your 2 most important games of the year. Your kicker missed an extra point when it was fucking 41-40, whatever it was. And you got worked by the Miami Hurricanes in a schedule or stadium apparently they don't even fill anymore. So I don't want to hear this, man. You lost your 2 important games on the schedule against an ACC school and a team that got dominated against Texas, by the way, and a fraudulent A&M team, in my opinion. So, yeah, no, you don't deserve to be in the playoffs. Go join a conference, play some real competition, and stop scheduling half your games as cupcake games. You played USC, and that was it for the most part of the season. Pittsburgh was terrible. I don't want to hear this, man. They're just a bunch of crybabies.
No, I agree. They're what they play.
They play a mixture of Big Ten and ACC schools. I mean, it's annoying. I mean, I get it. You did it. You're one of the 12 best teams, man. I'm sorry. Join the rest of us that get pissed off. I mean, get mad like the rest of us. Get mad like how Vandy's mad and Texas is mad. You didn't make it. BYU is the biggest hose team out of all of us, out of all the teams. They have the most to gripe about because their conference championship loss didn't mean like it did for Alabama. They are the one team that should be the most pissed off out of everybody.
Nope, I agree with you. I think I hate Notre Dame. And you know what? I hope Marcus Freeman leaves them and goes to the Giants like he's favored to do. So
that'd be awesome.
I would absolutely love it. I think they're terrible. They might not be a terrible team, but I think pulling out of the bowl game was terrible for the players. I think it just showed. I don't know. I could go on a rant about it. If I was the AP poll, I would make them ranked 13 next year, just so they can't get the clause to an automatic bid.
And these Notre Dame fans, because the Big 12, they penalize their schools $500,000. Not sure what the other conferences do, but the whole righteous Notre Dame fans saying, well, that's why we're not in a conference because we don't have to worry about that. That's a bullshit thing to say. That's entitled. That's an entitled attitude, and I don't like that. You guys should be held to the same standards, and same thing with like UConn and all them. Join a conference. They're not the only independent school. Join a conference. Do something. Make an imprint. Go try and be in a conference and win. The problem is, like Shannon Sharp says, is if you join the SEC or the Big Ten, you'd get clapped probably 3/4 of your season. You wouldn't be good. You would be a 9-3, 8-4 team, and you wouldn't be in the playoffs whatsoever.
Yep. And back to your point, I think they should remove the G6. I think because JMU's not winning. I know we say it's hard to beat a team twice, but I think Ole Miss isn't going to lose against Tulane. Yeah. I should say Ole Miss / LSU because I'm claiming this natty if Ole Miss wins.
Yeah, you got to get at least a chunk of it.
Exactly. All of our offensive coaches are there.
Yeah, there they are. But Chris, man, it's gonna be fun, man. And also the thing I'm gonna say is I think the scheduling is a poor scheduling. There's no way that Alabama and OU, probably the top out of the 4 games, probably the 1 or 2, probably in that order. You can count A&M and Miami. How dare they put Alabama and Oklahoma on a Friday night? And how dare they put A&M and Miami in College Station at noon? That's a crazy environment at nighttime. That is an environment you would want to see the Miami Hurricanes, by the way, offensive lineman talking shit about Ruben Bain, and against the Hurricanes in College Station with the 12th man at night. You put Oregon and JMU as the last game. That's pitiful. It's disgusting.
Yeah, I sent the picture to y'all. What was it, yesterday or the day before? I think. It was just
It's a bad look. I mean, there's no way Alabama and OU should be on Friday night. Like that's like a random. Just I get Penn State or Indiana and Notre Dame did that last year, but 9-8 should not be like this 9-8 matchup. It's a rematch earlier in the year. This is a good matchup. This is a fun little matchup they have going on, and they're playing on Friday night. But it is what it is.
yeah. I mean, at least they're playing at night. I think. I mean, either Oklahoma or A&M are going to get pissed off because both of those should be night games. So I mean, one's going to play Friday night, one's going to play Saturday night. But having JMU at Oregon on Saturday night,
I think OU would have been fine playing at 3:30 or 4 o'clock on that Saturday. Like, I mean, they're used to being in the SEC now. They get those mid like the mid time on a Saturday with the SEC schedule. So I think that would have been way better. It's still kind of like you get that slight like night environment too, because by halftime it's starting to get a little dark out. But it's a shame. It's a shame. Two best games of the first two games.
yep. And then Ole Miss is going to fill up their preschool daycare fucking 62,000 stadium.
Well, Chris, you ready for some NFL?
Let's do it.
Well, like we said, it's NFL time, Chris, and let's start off with the Kansas City Chiefs. And the question is now them being 6-7, and they haven't looked good. I know they went 15-2 last year in the Super Bowl, but a lot of people say it was a fraudulent 15-2. Are the Kansas City Chiefs dynasty? Is it done?
I mean, it's not looking well. I'll tell you that. I know they were down. I mean, we say it all the time: injuries, next man up, and everything. But losing 4 of your offensive linemen's rough. The receivers did not help Mahomes at all. Kelsey's looking washed.
He didn't help himself either. There's a lot of balls he was throwing in the dirt, short.
No, I mean, like, I don't think it was like a lot of people were saying that. I think there was somebody in Discord saying that it was like a blowout or like just some shit. Like it was what, a 7-point game at the very end.
Well, Injury went for it when it was 10-10, like with like 7.5, 8 minutes left on like their own 30-yard line. I'm like, what are we doing? Your defense is playing good. Why are you going for it on like a fourth and like long 1.5? It made no sense.
No, it was I think a bad play call. I mean, 4th and 1, you have Kareem Hunt in the backfield or Pacheco. I know Pacheco's not been what he's been recently, but you have Mahomes in a shotgun and you try to give it to Hollywood Brown in the backfield. I think the whole team is it's not great.
And I wouldn't say the dynasty. Oh, obviously this year I don't think they're winning. I know they have a shot. I think it's going to come down to that last playoff spot between the Chargers and the Chiefs. I know there's a lot of scenarios that can keep the Chiefs in, but I think the ultimate scenario is because I think it's going to come down to them. I think the Colts are done. The Chargers have to pretty much lose out, and they have to win at least 3 or 4. And one of the losses can't be the Chargers this week. So yeah, it's unlikely they're going to make it. I think that the dynasty being done aspect of them being the favorite every year to be the AFC champions and potential Super Bowl champions, I believe that should take a hit. I believe they could maybe still be, I think there's still be a top 2, top 3 candidate for the AFC, but them being that guaranteed, like, hey, like they're the favorite, Vegas has them. They might still do it because it's Mahomes going forward, but I believe they shouldn't be there. I think the name should not just carry them alone. Hey, and I know the Patriots, they had a little bit of a drop off after their 3rd Super Bowl win with Brady. Now I know they didn't look as bad as this, besides the Brady injury year, but they still went 11-5. So I think that this year it's obviously done, but I wouldn't count them out going forward. But just don't make them the favorite every single year.
No, I agree. I mean, it's rare to see it, but I don't think the Chiefs hold their own. They don't hold it themselves. Like they have to hope that the Chargers drop games.
Oh yeah, Chargers have a tough schedule now. Don't get me wrong. They play the Chargers or the Chiefs. They play the Texans. They play the Cowboys, and they play the Broncos. So they do have 4 tough games. And it's not like these are easy games. And I know they beat the Eagles, and that was a very good win. I mean, I get it. They were kind of the road home team, and they won. But these next 4 games, it's no cupcake. Dallas is, I get it, 6-1, but that offense can go off anytime for the Cowboys. So none of these 4 games are a big high percentage for them, in my opinion.
Yeah, I was trying to find the message Luke sent. I don't know where he sent it.
What was it? What was the premises of it?
It was the way that the Chiefs could get
Oh,
eliminated
it
this
was
week.
on Instagram. It was if the Bills
Uh,
win, the Texans win, the Jaguars, and of course the Chargers win. If all 4 of those happen, the Chiefs are out. Now I do believe that 3 of those are going to happen. Oh, I believe 3 are going to happen. I believe the Bills win, but that's no guarantee to New England. But obviously they can't lose to the Chargers. That's the big ticket. Is they have to keep up
they
with the
have to win.
Chargers.
It's a must win this weekend for them.
Yeah, I believe if they lose to the Chargers, they're out because then they're going to need a lot. Like the Chargers losing out, I think can happen, but they have to still play the Broncos, which is tough. And it's in Kansas City this time, though. And it's on Christmas, so that might probably be a good Chiefs game. And it all starts this week. I mean, it starts with them being the Chargers. They can only control them and see if the Chargers somehow choke. Chris, let's move to the NFC North. Let's go to the Chicago Bears and Green Bay Packers in a game for first place in the NFC North. The Packers did win. Caleb played a very good second half. I understand the fourth quarter interception, the last play of the game for them, 28-21. Did this determine the NFC North, in your opinion? Is it pretty much a lock now that the Packers win the North, or can you still find the Chicago Bears and even the Lions potentially sneaking their way back in? Is the Green Bay Packers, are they the team still now to beat going forward the rest of the way for the NFC North?
Yeah, I mean, I could see the Bears coming back next week, possibly. I think the Lions are so rough. The
Yeah.
offense looks rough. The defense, they're on pace to break as many injuries as they did last year. If they haven't
Defense is
already done it.
torched.
Yeah. So to me, the Lions are done.
I think wild
If you-
card team for them, they could still be, but not North.
No, not winning the division.
Yeah.
If you look at just the past 2 weeks, I think if you just took into account the past 2 weeks, Jordan Love would be leading the MVP race. He had a great Thanksgiving game. He had a great game this past weekend. But yeah, I mean the Packers defense just looks great, and Love's recently been getting it done.
I think the Bears are still going to win this division. Now, I know they play each other in 2 weeks when it's in Chicago. I think the Bears can beat the Niners, and I think they probably will lose to the Lions, in my opinion. I don't care where it's at. I still take the Lions. But the Packers' schedule, man, it's no cupcake. I mean, you have to play the Broncos this week in Denver. You have to go to Chicago as well, so that's 2 tough road games. Now, they play the Ravens at home. Which Ravens do we get? It's still hard to count out Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry. And then I get it, you go to the Vikings. So if they lose these next 2 games and the Bears win their next 2 games, then it's a big flip. And then you still got to play the Ravens and whatnot. So I'm leaning the Chicago Bears still slightly. I know that tie could help the Packers because of the winning percentage. And you're not wrong. I'm not a big Jordan Love fan, but I will say he's been playing good football. He has been pretty careful with the ball. Now, I think he's had a lot of terrible throws that were dropped, but those aren't turnovers, unfortunately. And Caleb is kind of one of those weird situations where he's a roller coaster. He just doesn't put a good 4 quarters together. It's usually he starts off hot and then goes cold, or he starts off cold and goes hot at the end. But I think that this defense they turn the ball over a lot. The offense, the run game's pretty good. I still think the Bears win this division at like about 12-5. I think the Bears win this game, and I can still see the Packers find themselves out of the playoffs, depending on what the other teams do. And if they don't win these games, I think they have 3 tough games coming up in a row. So it's a very tough schedule for the Packers.
Yeah, no, the Packers definitely have the hardest path.
Yeah. Man, it's good to see this rivalry, though. I mean, like the oldest rivalry in NFL, and it went down to the wire. I mean, it came down. Packers gave up the lead, and the Bears came back, and then it came down to, can Caleb make a play? DJ Moore was open underneath. I don't think the play was designed for him. I don't think he was even looking DJ Moore's way. And he underthrew Cole Kmet, and it was a bad throw, but it came down to the wire. It came down to the 2 best teams in the North at the moment going at it, and the Packers won at home, and they protected Lambeau Field.
Yeah, I mean, the Bears definitely looked dominant, especially at the end. They had like a 17 or something crazy play drive. Yeah. The rushing game looked good. Just the defense, it gave up way too many explosive plays.
It was giving up the touchdowns they were just killer. I mean, like Watson's open. I mean, all these guys are just. I was hoping Jacobs almost broke one too. I was like, man, like it's just too many explosive plays, like you said, and that's something the Bears got to clean up. If now they get turnovers, it's just, they got to clean up the yards.
Yeah, all 3 of Love's touchdowns were 20 yards or more.
God,
So
that's so bad. That's
something
very
was
bad.
up with the secondary. I know they lead the league in turnovers, but something was up.
Yeah, something was not in the water, but they play each other, like I said, Chris, in 2 weeks. Let's talk the NFC West. And man, I think the best division in football, at least when it comes to the top 3 teams. You have 2 teams at 10-3 between the Rams and the Seahawks, and then you have a 9-4 team with the Niners. 4 weeks left. Who wins this division, Chris? I mean, the Rams and the Seahawks, I believe, have good roads. They play each other in Seattle on Thursday night coming up very shortly. Who do you got?
I think I'm leaning towards Seattle. I mean, they've just looked dominant on both sides of the ball. The Rams have had their ups and downs. I mean, look at the Carolina game. It's just like I'm
No, I
leaning
mean, yeah.
Seattle.
Yeah, I mean, Seattle, I get it. They play the Colts this week. Yes, I mean, probably no Philip Rivers this week, maybe. But hosting LA, I think that could be a win for them. And then yeah, they're at Carolina and at San Francisco. That could be a sneaky game. San Francisco does own this rivalry the last decade, and I get the Rams play the Lions, and even if they lose to the Seahawks and they win the other 3, I think losing to the Niners is possible for the Seahawks, and then um, which would still, if they lose to the Seahawks and then or the Niners and they beat the only loss for the Rams is the Lion or the fucking Seahawks. The Rams win this division. I think the Rams win it. I think they both go 13-4, but the Rams take it. Niners probably go 12 or 11 wins. But man, this is a scary division. I wouldn't count the Niners out either. You never know. Like maybe these 2 teams up top drop a game, and then the Niners find themselves back in that driver's seat. But man, what a race! I mean, you have 2 good defenses between the Rams and the Seahawks, and you have 2 good offenses. I mean, Stafford's supporting 2 top 10 receivers this year, and Kyron Williams is no slouch either. So this is a good little race here between the 2, and probably the 1 seed when it's all said and done.
Yeah, I mean the Niners. We talk about playing easy teams. We give shit to the Patriots, but I mean I think the Niners are right there with them. Their greatest win is Week 1 against Seattle. Then they have wins against Saints, Cardinals. They
Rams.
did beat the Rams. They did beat the Rams. I'll give them that one. Falcons, Giants, Cardinals, Panthers, Browns. So, I mean,
Yeah,
they did beat the Rams and Seahawks. I forgot about the Rams. So disregard what I said
they
a
beat
little
the
bit.
Rams, but the last game they played the Rams, they got blown out. So the most recent one was a bad one.
Yeah, but I think I don't think there's a way Niners sneak into this. But Rams have an easier path, but I think Seattle gets it done.
Yeah, and good luck to the rest of the NFC. If you have to go through Seattle, Washington as the NFC, that's a tough place to play. That crowd is intense. The defense is electrifying right now. I mean, I just saw it firsthand. A defense is ferocious, and then you have I get it. How do we feel about Sam Darnold? How do we feel about Sam Darnold? But you got JSN, you got Cooper Cup emerging, you got Shaheed getting involved now. I mean, you have a good 2 tight end system with Barner and Arroyo. I mean, this is a scary team out in Seattle, man. Mike McDonald's got the boys playing pretty good out there.
I
But
agree.
but don't count the boy wonder out too of Sean McVay. He's always got something cooking. Chris, we've been talking about an offline the Bengals and the Chiefs probably not making the playoff. Potentially, Lamar and the Ravens. We'll talk about them soon. But is this the year the Buffalo Bills have to capture that moment with no kryptonite now, no Mahomes, no Burrow? We're talking. I know he's lost to the Texans, but that was Deshaun Watson and DeAndre Hopkins. I know he's never beaten them in Houston, but with no Mahomes and probably no Burrow in the playoffs, and he has beaten Lamar twice, but still it's a tough matchup. Is this the year the Buffalo Bills have to go on that Super Bowl run?
Unfortunately, yes, this is the year that it has to get done. And I say unfortunately because I feel like this is the least amount of talent for the Bills. I don't think the defense is great. The offense, you have to run it through Josh Allen's legs or James Cook. Um, I think they found themselves pretty lucky with the Bengals game. That game should have been a loss. Joe Burrow had a quick pick six that probably he wishes he had back, and then a deflected ball that got popped up in there. So, I mean, everything went wrong for the Bengals in the last, 4 or 5 minutes of the game.
Yeah, defense.
But,
Stuff the Bills made some plays.
but yeah, I think the Bills have to make the Super Bowl run this year. I just don't think they have the team to do it.
See, and I believe in most years, I believe this would not be a team that can represent the AFC, but I believe the AFC is so wide open this year. I mean, we all talk with the Patriots on who they've played. No one sold on the Broncos. Now, I believe all these teams can win the AFC still. Like the Texans, I can still see win it. Now they're getting hot. You have the Jaguars who are playing pretty good football, and then you have, which I don't think the Chiefs and Chargers are going to be good, but then you have the Steelers, Ravens. I don't think will make it. So you have about 5 teams in the AFC, I think, that can win it, and the Bills find themselves in that spot because there's no true top dog. I know you have 2 11-win teams in with the Patriots and the Broncos, but they're not. I'm not 100% sold that they're the teams that are going to win the AFC. Now, Josh Allen and James Cook, they have to be Superman and Batman. Superman's got to be Josh Allen. Batman's got to be Josh Cook. They have to carry this team. Josh Allen had a great game, having 250 plus yards and 3 touchdowns, and I believe a rushing touchdown as well. So you need him to keep doing that. And the schedule, a couple tough games left between the Eagles and the Patriots, but I believe they're going to find themselves in the playoffs. And I don't count Josh Allen ever out. I mean, it's just we know what he does in the playoffs. He normally plays good no matter who he plays. So I still think this team can make the Super Bowl, but I don't believe they can win it against the NFC. If it's the Rams, the Seahawks, I mean, if it's the Rams, Seahawks, probably not. But if it's any other NFC teams, I can maybe see it. But they're not out of it. I believe that they can, but they have to capture it this year. For Sean McDermott's sake, they have to capture it, or else you got to let him go. Like, you have to at least get to the Super Bowl.
There's a couple coaches I think you should be on their way out.
I've talked about it. You know me, I'm not one to shy away from it, Chris. Let's talk a coach that could have been fired a couple years ago to the Super Bowl win, but Nick Sirianni and the Eagles and the Los Angeles Chargers. What a Monday night game. Let's start with the Eagles. Are the Eagles just going to skate by in the playoffs and just get run over? Can Dallas capture it? Can Dallas find themselves back in this NFC East race? What are the Eagles doing?
The fact you didn't lead this topic off with talking about the amazing two-way player that we got to witness, James P. fucking Sullivan.
God,
5 interceptions. Had a touchdown. Like, who's Travis Hunter when you have James P. Sullivan?
This guy would have been Heisman winner if he was in college.
Yeah. And then I was thinking to myself, I was like, is the NFL scripted? Because how the fuck? Because I don't know if you saw any of it, but like not all the players were Monsters Inc. players.
Yes, I saw highlights.
Yeah. So like I was like, is the NFL scripted? So do they know what's about to happen? But then I was like, I'm so fucking delayed.
Yeah, that's what it is. They're trying to cook it up as it's going.
It's so delayed that they already know the play that's going to happen. So they add him to the player that's going to make the play. I figured that out like towards the end. And I was like, shit, this is about to be a big play. Sullivan's on the field.
He's solely.
But no, back to the real. I think Eagles desperately miss Kellen Moore. The offense looks flat. Hurts. Paige asked me today if this was the worst game of Hurts' career. And I honestly think it probably was. Yeah.
He had 5 turnovers.
Yeah,
two on one play.
To throw an interception and then fumble the ball on the same play is just it's outrageous.
That was terrible. That was terrible.
Yeah, and I think it's almost like I didn't mention it with the Chiefs, but I almost feel like it's with the Eagles as well, is that like they're so used to everything going their way, and it's finally not going their way.
No, nothing's going their way. 8-5, Chris. 8-5.
Not their offensive coordinator's house getting egged.
I mean, do you blame them? I mean, you're in Philly, dude. You gotta expect that nowadays. I mean,
the thing about it though is that like they have the talent.
They do. They have nothing but talent. I mean, that's that. Like I was talking earlier today about great coaches, and Yeah, I get it. Sirianni won the Super Bowl and he's been to another Super Bowl, but I mean, you have the best talent in the NFL. You should be making runs. Now, I know it's hard to get the Super Bowl every year, but you can at least be good every year. You can at least be a contender every single season. Like, I don't get it. Like, Saquon Barkley looks like a shell of himself. I know AJ Brown's getting hot now, but he wasn't utilized. It felt like most of the season. I mean, Jalen Hurts is only elite in the Super Bowl. I just don't get it. I mean, I know your O line's a little banged up, but metric wise, they're not that bad. So, I mean, it's just a name that the big names are not there. This Eagles team, I don't fear them. I don't think they're a team that can get to the Super Bowl. I don't.
They're lucky the East sucks this year because they wouldn't even
Yeah.
be winning the division.
And Dallas could go on a run. I mean, Philly could find themselves losing maybe a bad game against the Commanders. Maybe they have to go to Buffalo still on the right after Christmas. So I mean, there's a couple games there. Dallas maybe can get hot. Dallas can maybe steal this division. You never know. Chargers too, Chris. I understand they won, but God, man, this between both teams, a lot of fumbles. Chargers, I get Herbert's hurt, but they didn't impress me neither. Like I don't. I think the Chargers are set to do for a collapse where they're just going to barely skate into the playoffs, and then they get dominated by whoever the 2 seed is going to be between the Broncos and Patriots or Bills. One of them.
Yeah, I think Justin Herbert's had 24 offensive line combinations this year. Once they lost Joe Alt, it just looked terrible. Marion Hampton coming back looked great. So I think that'll be a boost. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I felt bad for Justin Herbert. You could definitely see he was favoring that hand.
Yeah, he was. That has like a lot of pad too. It's nothing but like a pillow. It feels like it's like I don't know how he's going to take snaps, especially like under center. What you did, it's like, and eventually it was bothering him because the way he was handing the ball off and everything too was very funky. It sucks because I believe they're a talented team too, and I believe Herbert's talented. I just don't think he's clutch. But this team, man, you good coach with Harbaugh, good defense led by Mentor. And then you have a good offense with a lot of talent. It sucks, man. A lot of people are high on them, and now they're falling apart because they're getting hurt. And it does suck. It does.
Yeah, we'll see. Got the Chiefs this week, so big game for them.
Well, Chargers have a tough schedule going forward. I mean, it's tough.
Chiefs, Dallas.
Houston, that defense. You talk about getting hurt. That's a defense right there. And then you have to go at Denver in the season too. So good luck, Chris. Let's talk AFC South, and it is, in my opinion, coming down to the Houston Texans and the Jacksonville Jaguars. I think Colts are unfortunately going to be eliminated from this wins division. Chris, I'm going to tell you right now, I think the Houston Texans are going to win this division. Now, they start off 0-3, I believe, and here they are right now, finding themselves just a game behind the Jaguars. And I believe they went out, and I believe they win this division at 12-5, and the Jaguars will probably go 12-5. I think tiebreaker-wise, it's going to go Houston Texans' way.
No, I think Houston Texans runs with it. I think they run the table. I mean, they go Cardinals, Raiders, Chargers. I think the defense is nasty. It's going to lead the way. And the thing about it is, like, the offense is good enough to win a game. And I think CJ Stroud is learning, like, hey, I have a great defense. I don't need to be a playmaker. Let's just chip it down. Let's just chip it down the field. If we kick a field goal, hey, we kick a field goal. If we get a touchdown, great. But, like, he knows that, like, behind him is an amazing defense.
And I believe he is playing, I mean, just in general, I think he was starting to play better before the concussion. I don't think he's playing terrible. I still think he's making some good plays. I get it. It's not the rookie year CJ Stroud, but I don't think he's been terrible. I think he just hasn't lived up to that rookie expectations that he had after. So I think he's playing better. I know the run game is still kind of a weak spot. But you have Nico Collins, you have Jaden Higgins getting involved, you have Noel out there, Christian Kirk, Dalton Schultz, and then you have the best defense in football. And it's a scary team. This is a team you don't probably want to play in the playoffs. Like I said, no true favorite in the AFC. The Houston Texans could find themselves somehow in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, another game where the quarterback would have had a better QBR if he just spiked the ball every play. I mean, that Texas defense held Mahomes up, held the offense, And
it's a scary team. They're hot, and they're hot at the moment, right moment.
yep.
But Chris, AFC North, Pittsburgh Steelers, the Baltimore Ravens, it came down. The winner of this was going to be in first place. And here the Steelers somehow went into Baltimore. Back-to-back losses, by the way, for the Ravens at home against division opponents. Did this seal the deal for the Pittsburgh Steelers, or can you still see the Ravens getting the AFC North crown?
No, I mean, I'm not sold on the Steelers, and I'm not sold on the Ravens. Lamar looks really bad. I thought with the way that the Steelers got gashed the week before, I thought the Ravens were really going to lean on Derrick Henry, which didn't happen. It's just Luke likes to shit on the South, but hey, this is a competitive division right here.
This is as competitive as the South this year, Chris. I think that both teams are going to be 8-8 going into the weeks 18, and they're probably going to flex this to Sunday Night Football because it will be winner take all. Losers out of the playoffs. Loser has a losing record. I think the Ravens are going to win the next 3 games. I do believe they're going to beat the Bengals, they're going to beat the Patriots, and they're going to beat the Packers. The Steelers are going to lose the next 2 weeks against the Dolphins and against the Lions. They win against the Browns, and it sets up Lamar and Aaron Rodgers, Tomlin versus Harbaugh, Ravens versus Steelers in Acrisure Stadium, division on the line. And I think the Pittsburgh Steelers, I'm going to say it now with a month left, I think they win the Super Bowl. Or not Super Bowl, I'm sorry. I think they win the AFC North. I think they win the AFC North. I think the Steelers find themselves the AFC North champions. I had the winner, the home team, winning these games, and the Steelers didn't do it, or the Ravens didn't do it this time. But I think the Steelers do it at the end of the season. I think the Pittsburgh Steelers get in the playoffs at 9-8. Tomlin keeps his winning record alive, or non-losing seasons alive. I mean,
that'd be a great script from Goodell right there.
No, I mean that would be the Sunday night game. That's the only way you flex it. I mean, it's the only way you can flex it. And then the last team, Chris, last thing we're talking about. What the hell is wrong with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and more specifically, what is wrong with Baker Mayfield this year?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's the same thing that's affecting the Eagles. I think they're desperately missing Cohen. The head coach, whatever the fuck his name is terrible.
Todd Bowles.
I do like the way he talks. I was watching his post-game press conference. Do you like how he talks? But no, I don't know. I mean,
Baker doesn't even look like he has it. I like the shake and bake stuff, but I was told he didn't have guys, so that's why he's struggling. Well, he had Godwin and Ibuka the last 2 weeks, and Bucky Irving. So there's no excuses. I mean, if we're going to shit on Josh Allen when he's playing bad with less tier talent, then let's keep the same injury for Baker Mayfield too.
Yeah, Baker looks rough. He missed a wide open Ibuka at the end of the game. I don't know. I mean, I don't want to say that he's playing injured. I know he has like his whole little shoulder thing going on, but like he was running the ball. He looked good. It's just
everyone's hurt now, man. It's the end of the year. I mean, everyone's banged up. I don't like the injury. If you're hurt, then don't play. I mean, you're on the field. I'm going to judge you for how you play. I mean, I get it. You're banged up, but you're out there. You're out there. I can't say, well, he's playing with a hurt shoulder. Well, don't play.
No, I agree.
Mahomes was limping around. We're shitting on him.
Yeah, I'm glad Baker played like shit. It was a great win for me this weekend.
Bucs and Panthers tied with 4 weeks left. And they still play each other twice.
Who does Bucs play next week or this week?
Don't they play the Panthers play the Saints.
Oh, no, the Falcons. Bucs Thursday night.
We're winning. We're winning that game.
Then they're about to be tied again because Saints beating Carolina this weekend.
Yeah,
so they're still going to be tied.
That could happen. I mean, the 2 worst teams could beat the 2 best teams this week. I know we're on the road. I think the Panthers are on the road against the Saints this time. Because you guys went into Carolina and beat them. I think it was Chuck's first win, right?
Yeah, it was his first one. White Michael Vick changing his name.
2 rushing touchdowns, Chris. I thought he played pretty good. It was funny after Allen started talking shit. He started looking really good. I was like,
yeah, and I'm glad that happened.
But Chris, I mean, like I said, it was a wild college football weekend. It was a wild NFL weekend, and this weekend we got some good football games. I think we have like 6 or 7 solid games. Depending on Philip Rivers plays this week, I think that'd be fun to watch against the Seahawks just to see him try and survive out there. But I mean, we have a good loaded NFL schedule. I know college is starting to die down. Bowl games don't mean anything. I might go to the Texas-Michigan game in Orlando if I choose to go home for my birthday. Not sure yet because, like I said, I'm closing on that house on the 30th, and I might take that weekend just to kind of get everything ready, get everything packed in there. But Chris, tomorrow or next episode, we will do our previews. We will predict all the games and hype up this week 15. 4 weeks left. We're a solid 4 weeks left until we know what the NFL schedule or the NFL playoff schedule looks like, and all the coaches that will be getting fired on NFL Black Monday. That's always an exciting day as well.
Yeah, interesting fact. We didn't talk about Philip Rivers, but Philip Rivers runs the same Colts offense for his son's high school team. And he talks to head coach Shane all the time, apparently. So he knows the offense.
But he hasn't played in 5 years.
No, but I'm going to be rooting for him. I'm definitely going to be rooting for him.
He also loses Hall of Fame status, so he's going to wait another 5 years, which is what Luke said. So I don't think he was going to make it first ballot either, because I don't think they're going to put him and Drew Brees together, which would be pretty cool because Philip Rivers replaced Drew Brees when Drew Brees went to the Saints. So, I mean, it's funny, but I don't think he would have got in anyways. But Chris, we'll be back for another episode this week with, like I said, NFL Week 15 preview. Can't wait to do it. I'm Mark Davis. That's Chris Gemeinhart. This is All About the Balls podcast. Have a great one. Thank you for checking out another episode of All About the Balls podcast. We want to thank all of our listeners and supporters of the Sack House. You can listen to the show on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. And don't forget to subscribe and give us a follow on Twitter and Instagram at the Sack House.